I know they're beat up. I don't care. The Patriots are going in the wrong direction. The Patriots struggle in a lot of areas. And the 49ers are not losing a third straight game, including at home to New England. Not happening.
You're tuned in to the Ross Tucker Football Podcast, guiding your gridiron journey, none other than your host, former NFL lineman, Ross Tucker.
Oh, yeah, it is. But it's not just any Ross Tucker Football Podcast. It is a Finish Strong Friday, a Picks Friday, a Winners Friday, all presented by DraftKings. You're all winners because you listen to this show, but you can really be winners if you do just a little extra. We'll get to the folks that did momentarily. Picks Friday means I'll make my picks for every other game other than last night's game in the NFL. And by the way, these are the picks I make straight up. Has nothing to do with the spread. Picks with the spread are on the Even Money Betting Podcast. This is just who I think is going to win the game. And I always do it based on, like, if you guys were actually putting money on it, right? Well, who I really think is going to win the game, which is why, by the way, it's a lot of favorites because that makes sense. But I'll let you know when it's an underdog pick. And then the Finish Strong part of it, just something I'm a big believer in. I don't have like an end of the week. You know, I work on weekends. In fact, this weekend, Sunday, I've got Browns at Raiders for CBS. So those of you in those markets can see it, or if you have DirecTV, you guys know it means a lot to me when you are watching and you take a screenshot of me on TV and send it to me at Ross Tucker NFL on social media. You know, I probably won't repost it until halftime, but it's still kind of cool for me to see that during a commercial break. And then Monday night, I've got the Titans and the Dolphins, two more teams, I would say, desperate for a win for Westwood One. So doubleheader for your boy this weekend. So I don't really finish the work week strong. I just work every day, but you can finish the work week strong and feel great about it. So you can feel awesome as you're taking your kids to events over the weekend or watching football, whatever it is that you do with your family. I just want you guys to finish the week strong today so you feel great about it all weekend long. The winners. Greg Myers made a comment on TikTok. Our TikTok's kind of blowing up. I love it. At Ross Tucker NFL on TikTok. We're at Ross Tucker Pod on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. So Greg, email me, ross@rosstucker.com. Let me know what you'd like. Tim Sauer gets the sponsor confirmation email winner. He's like a beer distributor or something in Ohio, and he bought a bunch of Labatt Blue Light. Hey, that counts, Tim. I love the Labatt Blue Light picture. You're a winner. And then Rich Hull is the YouTube shout-out winner. He said, nice job, Jack, on YouTube. I don't know why I'm rewarding him for that suspect comment, but I am. YouTube.com/Ross Tucker NFL. All you got to do is subscribe and make a comment, and then I'll do a personalized video like people pay for me to do sometimes on Cameo. Shout-outs to our latest patrons, patreon.com/RT Media, Brandon Ashley, Jason Klingenberg, KC Key, patreon.com/RT Media. Join the fellow Tuckheads and get all the even money bets in black and white. It's Big Show time.
The Big Show.
Well, it was a much, much needed win for the Cowboys after those two previous losses. Really, the two things that stood out from a Dallas perspective, the defense was much better, at least against the run. And I thought offensively, they got CeeDee Lamb involved. I mean, the long touchdown to CeeDee Lamb was the biggest play of the game. For the Giants, man, that was a very, very winnable game. Settled for field goals way too much. Daniel Jones did some positive things, getting the ball to Wan'Dale Robinson and Malik Neighbors, but he missed some deep throws, couldn't convert enough third downs, couldn't get it done in the red zone. And ultimately, the Cowboys get a win they absolutely had to have on Thursday Night Football.
Want to know which team is going to win every single game on Sunday? Then listen up.
All right, Ross, we're going to start. We got the New Orleans Saints. They are at the Atlanta Falcons.
They are, and a huge game in the NFC South. Looking forward to it. Both teams coming off losses that very easily could have been wins. And both teams, by the way, don't have their starting center, Jack. You know, both teams missing their starting center. Dahlman went on IR. We talked about that yesterday on Ross Tucker Football Podcast here. I don't know if I saw that McCoy went on IR yet or not, but he certainly will. I'm going to take the Falcons because they're playing at home. And because, I don't know, the Saints kind of got handled, and there were some concerning things from the Saints, really on both sides of the ball, and in particular, after, Eric McCoy went out. So I like the Falcons to get the job done at home. They are the favorites. I think it's like 20-17, 23-20, somewhere around what I pick for most of my scores.
Next, we've got the Bengals there at the Carolina Panthers.
Oh, my gosh. Can you imagine if the Bengals lose this one? I got to pick the Bengals to win, but I wouldn't be surprised at all at this point if the Panthers win. I watched that entire Panthers game getting ready for Raiders-Browns. Andy Dalton looked awesome. I mean, he was the fastest quarterback in the NFL, as John Daigle said on the Fantasy Feast podcast, from snap to throw. Nobody got it out faster than Andy, which is kind of crazy, right? His first start in a new offense. So kudos to Andy Dalton for getting rid of the ball as quickly as he did. I got to take the Bengals, though. I can't take them to go 0-4. They've already ruined two of my larceny locks this season. I'm not giving them another one of those. They're not my lock, but I'm going to pick Burrow and Chase to get it done because they got to get it done. They have to. Let's say 27-20, the Bengals win this one.
Next, we've got an NFL Western Conference battle. The Los Angeles Rams, they are at the Bears.
Western Conference, Jack?
Yeah.
Tell me about the Western Conference.
I mean, that was like 52 to like late 60s before. I think it was there after the merger. I mean, that was like the East and West. I don't know what it was before that, but that was like how it used to be divided.
After the merger?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they kept that like split when it was AFL, NFL for like the NFC. So it was like the NFC. It
wasn't called NFC and AFC?
Well, like instead of like NFC East, NFC West. Like instead of East and West, it was like the Western Conference and the Eastern Conference for the first couple of years.
Of the NFC.
Yes.
Somebody out there, please fact check, or somebody older, please email me or send me a message on social media at Ross Tucker NFL. Jack's credibility is a little bit dicey these days, so I don't know if I can just believe him in situations like this. This is a tough one for me to pick. The Rams are just so beat up. They're coming off of that, impressive win over the Niners. I do think the Bears did some positive things at the end of that game against the Colts. Certainly, Caleb Williams got some empty calories, as we call them, with some of the yards and touchdowns late in the game. The Bears defense is solid, though. I'm going to take Chicago to win the game. I don't know that I feel great about it. They're kind of a hard team right now to have a lot of confidence in, but I'll take Caleb and the gang. 20-17. I just think the Rams are missing a lot. I don't know how they scored 27 points against the Niners. 20-17, the Bears.
Minnesota Vikings at the Green Bay Packers in an NFC North battle.
The Minnesota Vikings. So I think it's interesting that the Packers are favored. And I know that maybe the Vikings are due for a loss and they shouldn't continue to play this well. But I don't know. No matter who the quarterback is for the Packers, I know they're playing well, but I'm going to go with what I'm seeing from the Vikings. It's kind of weird to take a team that's getting 3 points, that's undefeated, and they're my underdog of the week. But I'm showing faith in Darnold, Kevin O'Connell. These might be the two best coaches in the NFL right now. But I kind of like where the Vikings are at going into this game. I think they've been maybe the most impressive team in football. I'm going to keep it rolling until they or the Packers prove otherwise. 24-23. The Vikings get a huge win on the road. And you can let the doggies out if we still do that, Jack.
Ross's underdog of the week.
Got another divisional battle this time in the AFC South. The Jaguars, they're at the Texans.
Yeah, no, I won't be picking the Jags anytime soon. I saw that up close and personal on Monday, and it was not pretty at all. So give me the Texans for a bounce-back win after that debacle up in Minnesota. I feel really good about this pick. I don't know how anybody could pick the Jacksonville Jaguars to win this game. Maybe they will, but I'm not picking it. 27-17 Texans.
1995 AFC Championship rematch. The Steelers, they're at the Colts.
95. That's right. That is when
Harbaugh
threw the Hail Mary, and we thought like it looked like the guy caught it. Why are you nodding your head like you've watched the game? You were -6. Why are you
-5.
nodding your head?
Well, because I just know, because I just always was curious in like people's background. Harbaugh is such a prominent figure. I knew, that's one of his biggest games as a player, probably his biggest game as a player.
But you know about the Hail Mary at the end?
I remember I don't remember the exact specifics. I know the Hail Mary. I don't know who caught it.
But how do you know that? Did you watch it or you read about it?
I read about it. I didn't watch it.
Well, everybody should read about westshorehome.com/Ross because I'm so excited. They came out to the house on Wednesday and talked to my wife. We're definitely getting at least one new door again. We might get another one, but you guys will actually be able to see what we have a detached garage and what the studio looks like. You'll be able to see that door is in rough shape. So thankfully, I'm using my own code. You guys can too. You can get free installation with 60 months just this week. So do it now. 0% interest plus an extra $500 off. Yes, I get that off as well. westshorehome.com/Ross to redeem. That's westshorehome.com/Ross. Showers, full baths, windows. I'm definitely getting another door. Might get windows as well. westshorehome.com/Ross. There's no I in football. It's a we thing. An experience best enjoyed together. Smirnoff knows that. That's why it's the perfect vodka for crafting delicious cocktails, easy to make and versatile for any and all fans over 21. They got a lot of good things going. It's the world's #1 vodka. It's an official vodka partner of the NFL. It's award-winning vodka, and they started in 1864. Grab a bottle of Smirnoff at your local retailer and head to Smirnoff.com to find recipes of delicious cocktails perfect for game day. Please drink responsibly. Smirnoff number 21 vodka, distilled from grain, 40% alcohol by volume. The Smirnoff Company, New York, New York. Please do not share with anyone under the legal drinking age.
You've any thoughts on the game?
Getting back to the game, Jack, I'll take the Steelers. You know, the way that defense is playing, super impressive. As for the Colts, I'm just not so sure right now. I feel like this Steelers defense is going to give Anthony Richardson fits. And so because of it, I got to go with the Steelers to get to 4-0. The Pittsburgh Steelers, Justin Fields, I see it happening. Not a lot of points, but that's okay. There doesn't need to be. It's a Steelers game. 16-13. Dun, dun, dun. No, that's Packers. What's the Steelers one? I can't remember. Here we go. 16-13 Steelers.
My last one of these, I just can't help myself no more after this. The Tim Tebow, Broncos at Jets.
I like that you said bowl. Like instead of Tim Tebow Bowl, Tim T Bowl. That was one of your better comments in a while. Nice job by you. Love the Jets in this one. Could pick the Jets as the lock of the week. I didn't. I have another lock of the week, but very much like where the Jets are at in this game. Obviously, extra time to rest, extra time to prepare. The Broncos finally got a win. Like they're off the schneid. Now sometimes they get confidence from something like that, but I don't know. I'm not picking the Broncos in this one. How about the Jets? Jets get to 3-1 at the quarter pole of the season. Although I think the quarter pole is actually the end of the race, so that would be after 3/4 of the season. Whatever, you guys know what I mean. Let's go. Broncos defense is legit, so let's go 20-13 Jets.
Next, we've got the Philadelphia Eagles there at Tampa Bay playing the Bucs.
This is a tough one for me. Really tough. The Eagles have their bye next week, so I kind of tend to doubt we'll see Lane Johnson or Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown. I mean, until Saquon got there, maybe even still, you could say it's their three best players on offense. I mean, I'm not saying three most important. Obviously, Hurts is really important, but they're three best players. Meanwhile, the Bucs were kind of embarrassed at home last week against the Broncos. That was bad. I'm expecting the Bucs. I think they're better than that. I'm expecting the Bucs to bounce back, and I'm expecting this to be a really close game. This would be just a gigantic win for the Eagles. You win without your three best players on offense, but I can't pick it to happen. I'm going with Baker and the boys in a close one, 20-17 Bucs. Are they the favorites or the underdog? They're the underdog, so you can let the doggies out again with the Bucs.
Ross's underdog of the week.
Move to the 4:00 window. We've got the Commanders there at the Cardinals.
Juicy game. I'm looking forward to it. Love it. Commanders, Cardinals. Let's do this. I'm taking the Cardinals. I know the Commanders are playing well, but they're coming off a Monday night game. Everybody's telling them how great they are. Shorter week for preparation. I know they've got some confidence right now, and I do think it'll be a close game. But the Cardinals have played very consistently. Even in the Cardinals' 2 losses against the Bills and the Lions, 2 good teams, the Cardinals were right there. I think both these teams are 2-2 at the end of this game. Give me Arizona to get it done, and I believe it's going to be somewhere around 24-20, the Cardinals.
The New England Patriots there at the 49ers.
The 49ers are not losing 3 games in a row, which is why they're my Larceny lock this week, presented by Larceny Weeded Bourbon. Lock in a win and seize tonight. Bardstown, Kentucky, 46% alcohol by volume. Think wisely, drink wisely. I like the Niners to win this game as my lock of the week. I know they're beat up. I don't care. The Patriots are going in the wrong direction. The Patriots struggle in a lot of areas. And the 49ers are not losing a third straight game, including at home to New England. Not happening. Give me the Niners. Let's call it 24-13 San Francisco.
Got an AFC West battle. The Chiefs, they're at the Chargers.
It's so funny because now when you say an AFC West battle, you go back and forth between your old time history stuff and your current events. So it's okay, no, it really is an AFC West battle. This is the Tony Romo Jim Nance game, which is going to the vast majority of the country. I was looking at the broadcast maps, Jack. Have you ever seen those? You know what I'm talking about?
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Okay. So I was looking at it because we're opposite Tony Romo and Jim Nance. I'm doing the Raiders and the Browns with Beth Mowens and Jay Feely. We're pretty much primarily in Ohio and Nevada. Almost everybody else is getting the Chargers and the Chiefs. So if you don't want to watch Chargers and Chiefs and or you like when your boy calls an NFL game, either red zone it or Sunday ticket it, and it reminds me I got to record it on Sunday ticket, but and check out Browns Raiders. As for Chiefs Chargers, the Chargers, like the Eagles, have their bye next week. Justin Herbert hasn't said that he acts like he's going to play in the game. We'll see. I think it would be very smart if the Chargers did not play Justin Herbert and really the other guys that are banged up, to give them a couple of weeks so that you really have them moving forward. There's a pretty good chance you won't win the game anyway going against the Chiefs. So let's go Kansas City. I don't want to bet on whether or not Herbert's going to play, but I don't think he's going to. Or even if he does, I don't think he's going to be that effective. I think the Chiefs, who aren't really firing on all cylinders, score 23 points, and the Chargers only score 16. 23-16 Chiefs.
My favorite little factoid I forgot to tell you about the broadcast maps is seeing the games like you just mentioned, and then the states that like don't have an NFL team, like their college player will go. So like Oregon's always got Herbert, and Oklahoma's always got like Cardinals because of Kyler Murray. Those are the interesting things.
Yeah. I see that on the map sometimes too, yeah.
We'll move forward to the game you just mentioned. You're going to know a thing or two about the Browns. They're at the Raiders.
Two teams, very similar situations. They're both 1-2. They both had impressive road wins week 2, and then they came home in week 3 and lost to winless teams in which they were pretty significant favorites. So this is sort of a desperate times call for desperate measures game, right? Huge difference between 2-2 and 1-3 for both these teams. Both having injury issues. Myles Garrett, Max Crosby, although I expect both those guys to play. Browns O-line is beat up. This is kind of a toss-up game for me. I think I'm going to go with the Browns because I feel like the one consistent thing in this game, or the thing I can count on, is probably the Browns defensively. Raiders aren't really playing as well as they'd like to on either side of the ball. And I'm sure the Browns aren't playing as well defensively as they'd like, but still the best unit in the game. So I'll take Cleveland 17-16 over the Raiders, but really could go either way.
Ross's Underdog of the Week.
Got the Ravens there hosting the Buffalo Bills in Baltimore.
Love when we got good Sunday night games. Love it. Awesome. Something to look forward to. I like the I like the Bills. Bills have been playing so well. No, I take that back. I'm going Ravens. I know the Bills are playing so well, but I don't think they're going to go 12-0, right? Like, they're going to lose at some point. This would be a game they would lose. Short week, on the road, at Baltimore. I think the Ravens have success running it. It can go either way. 24-23, Baltimore.
Move to Monday night. Tennessee Titans. They're at the Miami Dolphins.
Miami Dolphins. This is the other game I'm calling, this one on the radio for Westwood One. I really have no idea who's going to start at quarterback for the Miami Dolphins, which is interesting going into a game I'm calling on Monday night. You'd think it would be Huntley at some point, but I don't really know that to be the case. So I'm going to take the Titans to win. I don't think the Titans are going to be 0-8 or 0-10. And this seems like a winnable game to me. They played very well against the Dolphins last year. The Dolphins obviously are having a myriad of issues with the injuries. I'm going to say Levis doesn't have a costly turnover, and the Titans find a way to win the game. By the way, my Browns pick, they were the underdogs, Jack, so you should have let the underdogs out there. And then for the Titans, they're only 1-point underdogs, but it still counts. Titans 20, Dolphins 17.
Ross's Underdog of the Week.
Wrap things up. Seattle Seahawks at the Detroit Lions.
Love this game. Another juicy Monday night matchup. So they'll probably get the better game than I did, second week in a row on Monday night. I like the Lions quite a bit in this game. I know Mike McDonald's done a terrific job in Seattle. Fans are excited about what they've got going out there. But I would have a tough time picking the Seahawks to go to 4-0 with a win in Detroit. I just don't really envision that happening, especially with what we've seen from the Lions and kind of getting back. Should be a fun one, though. Give me the Lions, who I'm assuming are favored. Yeah, for sure. Give me the Lions. Seattle's defense is pretty good under McDonald. It's just like a 20-17 game. 20-17, Detroit wins. That'll do it for all of our shows this week on the Ross Tucker Podcast Network. Please check out the other ones. You got plenty of time. Fantasy Feast, John is awesome. Loving John Daigle on the Fantasy Feast. Even Money. Even if you just like football, you don't like fantasy or betting, you still would like the football talk on Even Money and Fantasy Feast. College Draft is, of course, awesome. Other than that, have a terrific, terrific weekend, everybody. We'll be back super early Monday morning because I'll probably record it Sunday night from Vegas. I think we're done here.
Thanks for tuning in to the Ross Tucker Football Podcast. Make sure to also check out Even Money, Fantasy Feast, and College Draft, all on the DraftKings Network, YouTube, or subscribe to the podcast on your favorite platform.
Shout out myfrontpagestory.com, backofficescheduler.com, humanheadnyc.com, Sporticulture, and Pizza Boy Brewing.